Hello and welcome to this Call the Shots Director's Cut with Karen G and Dodger Dog. Welcome, guys.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for having us.
Not a problem. Looks very nice and sunny where you are today.
It is. We're in East London and we're in the garden and yeah, it's looking good.
Absolutely, it does. You're looking in fine form. So for those of you who aren't aware of yourself and the work that you and Dodger do, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
So hi, so I'm Karen G and this is Dodger Dog. So I'm the children's author and I've written a book series all about Dodger. So they're based on Dodger's life and the things that he gets up to. So one of the main things that he gets up to is that he's a pets as therapy dog. So he works in Barts hospitals. So he works at the Royal London, he works at Barts, he works at Newham and Whips, and he sees patients with all different conditions and illnesses, different stuff. So that's what he does. And the books are all educational. We read them as well in schools and libraries and at events. So they cover lots of behavioural stuff. So they're about anti-bullying, they're about adoption, they're about disability. There are lots of environmental. So as you can see today, the environment's really important. I look like I'm in some great place that's full of wildlife. Well, it's my garden, and it's very important to us to have a natural environment and for us to make sure that we've got that for our children and for the future.
Absolutely. I guess having a dog means you at least have to go out into nature a couple of times a day already.
Yeah, well, funny enough, so every morning in lockdown, Dodger and Shay, which is his sister, and she's also in the books, they've been walking, and we're walking to raise money for Barts Charity. So they walked actually, so the first leg of their walk, they arrived in, remember it's virtual, they arrived in Calais, so they walked to Dover and they got the ferry. And they're carrying on now. They're in France, and there's lots of videos and stuff that we've done online. And we're plotting this walk and we're measuring it. So every morning they go out on a walk, which is using social distancing. They're only with the household. They go early so that there's not many people, because Dodger's sticking to the government guidelines, and we're doing videos every day. We're promoting that with children as well. And also last night was Thursday, and Dodger does a 2-minute bark for the NHS when everybody else is clapping. I know, it seems, we only realised when everyone was clapping, it makes Dodger bark, and it just kind of works out really well.
That makes sense, doesn't it? Really, you can't, he hasn't quite got the limbs to be able to do a clap, so.
But the minute he hears everyone in the street clapping, it makes him bark. So it's kind of handy, really. But
he's barking for Barts almost.
Barking for Barts, yeah.
So, I mean, that the therapy work, the charity work you're doing now, what are the things that make you most proud of the work that you guys do?
I mean, I'm very proud of my books. I'm very proud of the books, and my illustrator, Kim Weimer, they're all hand-painted pictures that are in the books. They're not digital. And they're all handwritten as well. I don't even use the computer. So they're kind of really old school as well. They've got a picture on the top and, you know, the words at the bottom, and they're kind of like what I read as a child. So I'm really proud of what we've got going. I'm proud of the subjects that we have. I mean, like the latest one that came out in March is about death, and it teaches children. It's Dodger Dog Says Goodbye. So it teaches children about how to cope with bereavement. There's a lot of mental health in the books because I'm a Samaritan. My illustrator, Kim, is a Samaritan. So mental health is really, really important to us as well. And so I'm proud of that. But I mean, lately, I'm very proud that in February, Dodger was awarded a Barts Hero Award. So these awards, they're normally for doctors and nurses and people that work. I think Shay's coming to say hello now. That's my other dog. So, so basically, they're doctors and nurses and people, thank you, Shay, for, done something good. So patients and other members of staff are able to nominate people. So Dodger got so many nominations, he was shortlisted. So he was the first dog nominated and the first dog to be shortlisted. It was the first dog to go to the dinner awards, and there's some pictures of him in his tux. And it was then the first dog ever to win an award. So it's like a lot of firsts there.
Absolutely.
And although it wasn't his first award, he won one last year at Woofstock. So Woofstock's another big charitable dog event with great music in the night. It's in Devon, and he won an award there as well, actually. So yeah, the awards that he's winning, they're really, really, yeah, they make you proud.
You must get very emotional when he thanks you in his acceptance speeches.
Ah, you know what? When Dodger gets so excited, well, as I said about the clapping with the NHS, he gets so excited. But what was funny was that when his name was called and he had to walk through all these tables, it was like a black tie event. Dodger didn't bark. He just walked along, and it was like, "Don't you know who I am?" You know, he was very, had a swag on when he had a tux on. He also had a very nice Diamante collar, what said Dodger, and he was blinged up for the occasion.
It's definitely a dog with style.
Oh, he has. He's definitely got style.
Yeah, dressed up like a dog's dinner, if you will.
Yeah. Actually, he did eat a few dinners, but they weren't dog dinners. Everybody was giving him some of their steak.
I'm
a
vegetarian,
and he looked at what I had, and he was like, no.
I've had enough of stuffed peppers. I'll have some sirloin, please.
Yeah, that's what everyone was giving him, steak.
Now, I understand you haven't always been in the world of authoring, or indeed fundraising this way in particular. Can you tell me about, the inspiration for people, Franks, who might want to try something different in their lives?
Yeah, definitely. So when I was 16, which was quite a long time ago, I joined NatWest, and I became a cashier. I printed statements, and I worked my way up, and I had a career that spanned 34 years with NatWest and then RBS. I left in 2013. I took voluntary redundancy. What I would say to anyone is, like, I wouldn't criticize that career, that job, yeah. And I definitely know that we've had a lot of stick in NatWest and RBS, but it was a good career. It brought this house, it raised my children, and, I enjoyed it. Of course, it's very different, but I think that if anyone's got an idea or a passion or something that they want to do, they should just do it. They should literally just do it. It doesn't matter how different it is or how wacky it is, or you need to be happy. You need to be doing what you love. And I wasn't unhappy in my career, but it was very different. And it was doing this has made me happier. So I think a lot of people are unhappy and they think about what will make them happy, but happiness really comes from within. So for me, it's thinking about what you enjoy doing, and also if you've got a passion, if you've got a love. I've always had a love of animals. I've always had dogs, and I've always wanted to help people. As I said, I'm a Samaritan. I've done lots of volunteering over, the years. So think about what it is that you would love to do if you could. If you could do anything you wanted, what would you like to do? And then basically do it. Just do it.
You think it's that simple? Perhaps it's more like a mental block, and once you realise that it's only you that can push through that, is that easier that way?
Yeah, I think so. Right, I'm not going to lie, because I got money, I got redundancy, so I realised, that it's not easy to just start full time. But now what I've realised is that you can save for it. You can start to put money away. You can go part time in what you're doing. You could get a different job, another job really that can help you to get through to achieve your goals. I mean, you can do 2 jobs. So you can do things evenings and weekends or within your shift pattern. So again, it's what you can do and not what you can't. And in coaching, we talk about the circle of influence, yeah? So the circle of influence, everything inside that circle, you can control. But everything that's outside of that circle, there's absolutely no no control over it. So don't focus on that. Yeah, don't focus on that.
So I think when you have a goal in mind, it's important to stick with it and then plan backwards kind of from that goal and the steps you can take to achieve it.
Yeah, definitely. And just so for me, yeah, that if you've got a thought or an idea or something in your life, it doesn't really go away. If you enjoy doing things, then you can pick up new hobbies and new things and put them down. But if you've got something that has been with you a long time, then that's probably going to be something that in the end is going to make you happiest. But as I said before, I mean, happiness comes from within. So I was perfectly happy doing what I did, managing people. I love people, helping people with their careers, especially as I got older and there were youngsters, and thinking about how they could have a life, you know, buy a home, have nice holidays, have a family through a good career. So helping people to achieve things, you know, has always been important to me. And I raised 3 children, and the subjects in my books, for example, anti-bullying, I can't abide bullying, never have in my life. And things like the environment I've always cared about. So also I had a career break during them 34 years for a few years when I had my kids, and I was a nurse. So caring for people and looking after people is really important to me. And now I'm able to do it full time, really. But a lot of it is because I work hard in the bank and I got a pension and I had a good salary. So I know it's not always that easy, but I think that determination and passion is kind of more important really than the financial side to get you started at least and to pull you through.
Finding that balance, isn't it, really? Like most things in life, the balance. Now, I think it's fair to say that Dodger and yourself are on a mission currently in these times. How can people help support Dodger's mission?
Well, Dodger has got a Just Giving page, and Dodger is doing these walks. As I say, he was in Calais. I'm not sure how far out of Calais he's walked so far, but there's updates on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So the links as well, there's links everywhere for the Just Giving page. So if everybody who watched our social media gave £1, we would have thousands and thousands for Barts. And it doesn't have to be a large sum of money. It's just about what you can afford. And as I say, £1 from everybody who watches this video, who watches any of our social media, is going to make a really massive difference. So following us and sharing in our journey and helping us by donating is going to be important.
We'll definitely include the links down in the description and the comments of this video. How far is it that they're planning to walk?
Well, they've decided to walk just until they have to go back to work. So who knows how long is a piece of string? So yeah, they're just walking. They're just walking every day. And they're over the marshes, and it's a lovely place, Leighton Hackney Marshes, for people who don't know. I know a lot of people watching might be living in rural areas and different places, but we've got some lovely, lovely wildlife and scenery in East London. So
lovely. Well, take advantage of it and allow people to see it and share it, say, through social media. With
definitely.
Dodger on his mission for raising money for Barts.
Thank you, and thanks for helping us on our mission as well. So any support is very much appreciated. There's articles that the NHS have written about Dodger that are on the NHS website from yesterday, and they're on our social media. So it's Therapy Dog turned fundraiser, I think, is the headline.
Fantastic. Well, again, we'll be sure to share the links out to that so people can catch up with his adventures and help out in his mission. In the meantime, Karen and Dodger, who I'm sure is off sunning himself, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
Thanks.
The treats run out, he said.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, if there's no incentive, then wander off and find someone else to give him some attention. But thank you very much indeed for joining us on the call. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we'll look forward to catching up with Dodger's adventures online.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Not a problem.
See
Thank
ya.
you, Karen.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.